All right, everybody. Welcome to New Quitters. No Quitters. Welcome to No Quitters, the best MTV Challenge podcast in the universe. We're fucking back, boys.
Like we never left.
Like we never left. Like we never quit. Because we never did quit. You can't quit a show that you don't ever go on. You can't say anyone who never went on the challenge for a season quit because they weren't on. There's not one fucking challenger that has been on every season of the challenge, and that's kind of like us. We just took a couple of seasons off, let other people, other podcasts do their thing, and now we're back. So as long as we make it through this whole season, we're fucking back, boys. And we have a whole crew in my alliance here. We have Captain Cons as always. We got JJ back from the fucking dead. Back from fucking the dog pound savior dog Twitter or whatever he's got going on. We got Reegs in fucking Kentucky, Cincinnati world. Fucking coronavirus hasn't even made it there yet. And of course, we got Edward, the host of my current favorite podcast in the universe, Dog Walk. I fucking just love those goddamn podcasts. Subscribe, rate 5 stars right now. Eddie was the guy who kind of, there was like a little bit of maybe a spark through the last couple years to get this thing started. Every time we go out to the bars, we hear people or stoolies on Twitter would run us ragged trying to get us back. But I talked to Eddie at the holiday party this year. Remember, Eddie? We sat in the corner and I said, listen, man, if you ever want to bring this back, like if you ever wanted to even host it or something, because I know you had the dog walk, I said we could maybe do something. And then the fucking whole entire world fell apart. And we kind of saw the fucking No Quitters logo in the sky like the bat signal. And we said it was time to bring back the Challenge podcast. So here we are. And everyone, I'll let you get your joke off about quitting for one fucking day, and then it's over. We're starting the podcast now.
Well, you know what I was going to say? Did they say Ted Williams quit baseball when he went to fight the Nazis in World War II? No. So just like that, he stepped away from the game. We just took a brief hiatus. We stepped away. We didn't quit. We didn't retire.
It was a furlough. A lot of people are doing that nowadays.
You know what this was like? This was when Road Rules stopped and they had to go find new contestants from other shows. So it's just not Real World. Like they had Big Brother, Amazing Race. That's me and Eddie right now. We're the Midwest guys coming in from the other channels. That's what we needed here on No Quitters.
The world needs sports very badly. It needs competition. It needs all that stuff. And to be honest with you, we have a lot of people who have a lot of fucking time on their hands, as you can tell by the 5 fucking idiots on right now. And I think there's probably like another 15 idiots who we could have on at some point throughout the seasons. Hopefully we can get some guests like we have in the past. And I cut off the hero of
thing that people bring up to me the most of like anything like Barstool, Yankees, Stadium Eats, Yuppie Junk, of anything. People are just like, yo, I love No Quitters. Like they just do.
It's the truest thing, man. We went to Pup Punk in Long Island, and I mean, it was every other person. I had, the Mets podcast we just launched, We Gotta Believe, and just everything else I've done at Barstool. And every person's like, instead of like, hey, man, someone say I love your stuff, but like, when's fucking No Quitters coming back, you fucking pussy? So it's back. We're here. We got a good crew. And again, we have a good...
I DM'd Eddie like maybe 2 months ago and was just like, yo, because I heard like some chatter about him wanting to do it. And I was like, dude, you should do it partially so people would stop asking us. Because I didn't think the world was going to stop and we were going to do it. So I was like, if someone does it, Eddie does a good job. I listen to everything he does. Like,
Eddie could talk to a TV repairman for 30 minutes and keep me on the edge of my seat. I think he could handle talking about fucking a bunch of nitwits in a house just looking to fuck, drink, and like rob money from each other. So,
well, Eddie has that first part covered with the Porn King when you're talking about just sitting around in the house. So we've got a little experience going here.
The King, baby. No, it's good though. We got some new blood in here. We got the old blood. It feels right. People are looking for it, so it was the right time for a comeback.
Right time for a comeback, and the king of moving things along transitions. We have a whole big old squad here. The name of this season is the Challenge Total Madness. And
bullshit, by the way. You dropped that in March when I should be on a flight to the Final Four tomorrow. I don't do madness in my life.
Is that maybe why they did it? Because I think it's a terrible name, like a god awful name.
I've completely forgot about that until today, and I got an email from Delta 2 days ago on Sunday about my flight that was canceled for the Final Four, and then I was going to the Masters for the first time. So seeing madness on the 1st of April, fuck you, the best producers in the world, because that's some bullshit.
Yep, the best producers in the world. They produced their little sizzle reel, which is my other favorite part of every single year with the challenge, or every twice a year whenever the challenges come out, is they release the trailer and everyone's like, you got to bring No Quitters back. This is going to be the best year ever. It's like, guys, I don't know if people are trolling, if they're serious, if they're just in on the joke. Every challenge looks like the greatest challenge ever because the editors and the producers are awesome at making those little sizzle reels. So we have a whole new squad. We have a new time. Shout out to the new dads or the old dads. Me, JJ, who's become a dad since we last saw him. He's currently living at home on paternity leave, by the way. So explain your situation right now, because this makes me so happy as someone that likes to see you suffer a little bit.
I'm on paternity leave. My company gives 18 weeks paternity leave, so I don't work till June 8th. I stopped working on March 2nd, and then the world ended. So now I'm just stuck in this house full of people watching a baby all day. And I had a lot of plans to go to a lot of baseball games. My mother-in-law was dying to watch the baby, so I go to all these baseball games.
So I should tell you, Jack, I was going to surprise you. Army-Navy was being played down in Philadelphia at Citizens Bank, and I was going to surprise you and take you to that game on April 10th.
Well, I don't think we're going to make it.
Yeah, doesn't look so hot right now. So JJ has the wife at home working in his basement. He has dogs, he has brothers, he has babies. He has nowhere to masturbate, which is basically what I'm trying to get at here, which is where, all his bloggers, this is the, we're all kind of in this together. But everyone's looking good. Everyone's looking sharp. We have a new season to get into, a new time, 8 to 9:30, which this week's 8 to 9:30, next week's 8 to 9:30. Do you think that's just going to be and that's the other thing. We have people who have I got out of it. Me and Connor.
We stopped doing it because it was on at 10. Then it moved to 9 after we stopped doing it. And then it was 7:56, and I was like, oh shit, this starts in 4 minutes. I had no idea.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. Has this been me and Connor are kind of on the outside looking in. JJ said he's watched every season since No Quitters took a break. Eddie's done every season. Bobby's done a few. Is this the first 8 o'clock we've had, or 7 Central for Eddie out there in Chi-Town?
I hate to do this, but and I think Reeks can say the same thing. Being Central Time Zone guys, not a huge concern.
I'm Eastern Time Zone.
Oh, you're Eastern. That's right. Okay, my bad. Only me then. Central Time Zone, not a big concern. So I was never worried about this. So as much as I sympathize with you guys, I think it is though for the first time though, because this does feel earlier. It was light out when it was starting, so I would say so.
It's the first I can remember at 8. I think there was a stretch where it was 9:30 maybe, even for a little bit, but I don't ever remember an 8 o'clock, which, awesome. Yes, please.
They got to make room for the 800 episodes of ridiculousness that apparently MTV plays all the time, every day. What is that about? Eddie, you just tweeted right before the show, there's so much other great content. If you went to 2005 back to 95, there's so many great original shows on MTV. You
just show MTV Spring Break for the 9 hours. Nobody can go on Spring Break. Just show all that.
Whoever makes a schedule for MTV is now my number one most wanted guest for Dog Walk. He's bumped down Joey Greco from Cheaters to number 2. So I need to talk to that guy and find out why the fuck there's so much ridiculous. It's crazy. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous in itself. It's fucking ridiculousception. Oh man. So we have the cast here. I've just pulled up the cast. So we have some old faces, some old favorites, some old hateds, I guess. What's the opposite of favorites? And then we have some new faces. So first up, right off the bat, we got Anissa. Diaper Breath is back in the saddle.
Yo,
again.
that's my girl. I think she lives a mile away from me.
Did you hang out with her? I feel like you guys had a rendezvous.
No, she slid in my DMs at 1 o'clock in the morning one night. It was just yo, what's up? Are you still out? And my wife was like, why the fuck is she DMing you? And I was like, yo, it's because I said she looked like a melted ice cream cake. So we're probably boys. Well,
something tells me even at the ripe age of whatever she is, she still doesn't have a lot going on for her. So
she's out there on the veterans minimum with 2 big bags of ice on her knees in the 4th quarter, just getting a paycheck.
She's Patrick Ewing on the Magic.
Yeah, you get $60,000 just to get on the plane. You last a couple episodes. You're not going to win, but you mix it up. It gets you out of, she lives in North Philly. It gets you out of there. I'd go to a bunker instead of that.
And she probably gets, 2 appearances out of this too, right? She can do some fee where all of a sudden she's making like $70K. Like that ain't a bad gig for Anissa.
Yeah, you'll take that.
Couple Instagram swipe ups out of this.
Yeah.
Next up, we got Ashley. So Ashley was like a heavy hitter for a minute there because she won a championship or two, right? And
Most
to her
money
credit,
ever won.
she always has fun. We'll leave it at that. We'll be positive here in 2020 and all. The thigh tattoo is ready to get some action, as someone was saying on Twitter tonight. She's already doing her thing. She's quote unquote making friends, making alliances, and maybe making babies. I don't know. Just like our next guy Corey. So we got some familiar faces here. I like this so far. CT, obviously CT. Now CT, he won last season. Is that right?
Yes.
That's what I'm hearing.
Okay.
CT won last season. CT hasn't done anything on the show in 3 seasons. He has done nothing. He just chills, and everyone's like, yeah, like they go to CT for wiseness. Like that's all it is.
He's the village elder at this point, just dispensing the sage wisdom.
I was gonna say, to keep the basketball analogies going with what we use with Anissa, he's James Jones, where he made like 9 NBA finals in a row, just being teammates and friends with LeBron. Like that's what CT is now, and then he's playing it perfectly. What do you call him? What was the nickname he gave himself? Like In Daddy Fuego or something like that? Did you catch
something
that?
like that? That's all he does. He walks out, he adjusts his hat, and he rubs his stomach and like gives some wisdom. Like legitimately, that's all CT does anymore. But he's still good too.
Yeah.
Like
He saves it all up for the final, and then he just unloads everything he has for the final. And you actually see, like, next week, look at him, and then if he makes it far, look at him, he loses weight. Like last season, he lost a bunch of weight as the season went on.
He's like Shaq. He plays himself into shape the first 20 games of the season.
I like the Shaq comparison more, where Shaq CT back in the day was dominant. You thought he might kill somebody, on TV any given day, and now he's kind of just settling in and playing into shape. All right, so this is the first person. I have no idea who the fuck. They have them listed as veterans first. D, not a clue who she is. She seemed to.
D does pole dancing competitions in Australia.
Yo, I noticed that. She's got an Australian accent. That threw me because she does not appear Australian. Eddie, what can you tell us about D?
So she had like a big run-in last year. She was fucking Rogan, there were a lot of going on this episode because she took the fucking bunk right on top of her and they like broke up or whatever. And she was like, I would say the surprise of the season. What did you say so, JJ Reek? She won the whole thing and like was fucking really good in the end. So she's solid and she did well today in the opening challenge. So, I mean, you got to look out for her, I guess.
She got challenged and just stepped up last year.
I would say she was. I always confused her with Ninja. Like they both came on. Ninja was 2 seasons ago.
Why? Because she's
good
Bobby.
buddies.
Bobby, because she's Asian.
She's
Racist.
Australian. She's
but
Australian.
But she's Asian.
But like they both came on the same way. They both came on 2 seasons. Like Ninja came on 2 seasons ago, and I think she won it, or she at least got to the final.
They're like best friends too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I would say the most outrageous thing Eddie mentioned her and Rogan. Her saying that she was interested in Jay because that's her type of guy. Jay and Rogan couldn't look too polar opposite.
No.
somebody said to me, she's like, I don't think they know what the word type means because there's like that's just not a thing. Speaking of types, my type was the next one, Jenna. She's back on the show.
Who do you think Zach is banging while she's away? Everyone.
I don't know if I made this note on the show because it's been so long, but I officially have given up on Jenna. She's just with the wrong person, and it's like you just breaks your heart to see it. I feel almost like I'll never be the boyfriend, but I feel almost like a girlfriend. I'm like that boy is nothing but trouble. He's a dog, Jenna. So I've officially given up hope on her. She's kind of lost a little bit of shine in terms of the game too, right? I feel like she's had some slip ups early. She's no longer just klutzing her way to finals anymore.
Yeah.
She hasn't been around for a few years, too.
Yeah. She doesn't have she's not like the Johnny Bananas who can fight off an entire house coming for her, right?
No.
Right. Are we just going to gloss over the fact that she said in the opening that she's working on becoming a lawyer?
I didn't hear that. I didn't notice that.
Isn't Kim Kardashian also doing that? Is this the same type?
I mean, I have so many questions about what type of law she's getting into, where she's getting this
wills
law degree
and trusts. It's got to be wills and trusts. Very templative.
Fucking
That
bullshit.
sounds like, you know what? That sounds like a kid who graduates college and doesn't know what they want to do with their life except watch a lot of Law and Order. So when their parents' friends ask him, like, oh, what are you up to? He's like, oh, I'm thinking about being a lawyer. I don't think there's a lot of substance there.
I feel like
Now remember, her cousin works at the fucking bakery, all right? So she just got to do a little better than that. And she'll be all right.
the all-time line. You're just jealous because my dad didn't go to jail, or that's why you got the leg up. Is because your dad didn't go to jail. What an all-time line. All right, so this is someone I don't know, but I was told by my wife, Jennifer, superstar apparently. Like,
China.
China.
Yep.
That's Joni Lauer in the biopic.
The worst lip job ever.
All right, I just have to get this out there, and then I want to hear more about her, but I have a crush on Jenny.
Yeah, that's your girl.
course you do.
You're in love.
She's a perfect hard
Crack
for you.
walnuts with that chin.
I don't know, but I want to find out.
She's the perfect partner for you. She just they're all it's going to be. There will probably give or take 13 minutes total throughout the season of her just working out, sweating. So she's just like a super CrossFit chick, and she's pretty fucking good. She'll be around.
Yo, and give me an accent like that, and I'm just a puddle.
That's the other side of this too. Is so me and Connor got out of this right as the Australia, the people overseas, the Brits hit. So there's a lot of accents going around. I am not prepared. Your ears have to get used to that. So it's going to take me a little while to get to catch up to you guys here.
I do like that they go with the flags on the jerseys now, like an all-star game where you get your team represented.
Bananas, I don't think we need to say anything other than, he's the GOAT for a reason. Jordan is coming fresh off a W, right? A
Jordan's won the last 4 he's been in.
And I think, Eddie, you just inducted him onto your Mount Rushmore, was it? Or the Hall of Fame? It was something big.
Mount Rushmore, dude. The challenges that he's winning to, the eliminations, he's just mowing motherfuckers down. He's so fucking good.
Okay.
It's crazy. I thought he was going to be good when he first came on. I think his first season was when they did Battle of the Seasons, but he's turned into the
Dominant.
just
Dominant.
You said, a Mount Rushmore. He's
Last
up there.
season, he was just straight up just calling people out. Yo, let's just go in there. I'll eliminate you. I've got one hand. I'll eliminate you. We've got to swing an axe. Me versus Zach. I only got one hand, so I got this. I was just mowing people down. Now that they've said you need to win an elimination to be in the final, he may next episode just be like, great. Who wants to fight me? I don't care that it's women's week.
He does have what I think might be the best call out for an elimination. I put it in my blog today about the best moments where he just flipped all the cards over. I forget what season.
Yeah,
it was.
I remember that. We were still watching.
Yeah, he just flipped them all. That's where I should have known. Okay, he's going to be really good.
Yeah,
and we're Tori fans, so that helps him because we enjoyed Tori when we met her.
Yeah, and they're engaged, right? They're engaged.
Yeah.
They're a couple now? Okay.
They got engaged on last season in the elimination pit. It wasn't trashy.
Let me ask you guys a question. Is that a disadvantage or a disadvantage to have your fiance on the show?
I hate it. I think it's a disadvantage.
I think it depends
what I did
who
there?
you are. It depends who you are. For them, I think it's an advantage because they're both good. Whereas Paul and Cara, who aren't on this thing, she will sacrifice herself for him. Whereas they're just two powerhouses.
That is something that I missed last season. They're not on, but Cara and who was it, Paulie? My wife was I think people were unfollowing her in mass. Apparently she's just the worst now, Cara Maria. That's the update I've gotten. Eddie's shaking his head. I've never seen Eddie so upset in my life. He's not happy right now.
She's horrendous, and she had a stranglehold over the game. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah.
Who the fuck? It was Bizarro World that season, where the people who shouldn't have the power, who everybody hates, had all the power, and it was super weird. But I guess it made a good season. I guess.
They also outside of TV on Instagram, all they did was post all the time, and every night or every other night, it'd be her in lingerie, just straight up we're about to fuck, and then then people got interested. It got trashy. It was awesome.
People have to remember this about Cara Maria too. She came in as the little meek girl, and she was always getting bullied by. She was dating Abe for years. So you have to be a different human being to be dating Abe for a day, let alone years of your life. Next up, no idea. Josh, couldn't tell you the first thing about the guy.
I can't stand him.
I hate Josh.
Yep.
I've looked up like how tall people are on the show to try to get an idea. He's got to be like 6'3", and he just talks like Andre the Giant. Like, do you want a peanut? It's like, you're not big enough to have that voice. Do you? He is the worst. He's gonna fall in love 70 times and just be like, I really wanted to kiss Georgia. He's the worst.
Not only
I
that,
don't
then
know why
he'll
they
get,
put me in.
I was like, he'll fail miserably at an event, get thrown in, and be like, "Well, I just don't understand why they vote on me. Like, I just finished last." Like he's the dumbest human being in the world.
With that brings great moment potential, so that's why I kind of like having him around. You know, he's just a dumb oaf who, like, you watch out for him. Like, he'll get involved in something he doesn't need to, and it'll be a good stir up. You know.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So speaking of people who fall in love easy, we have Kayla, former guest, who I think we all kind of like. A lot of times, we fell in love with Kayla.
I'm actually mad that now that I saw like the fast forward that she cheats on Mikey P with Bear. Like, I wonder, because she was off Twitter for a while. Now she's got a boyfriend. She's not with the one who she was with literally 100% of the time. Turns out she's a whore.
So
it was 100% chance that she was hooking up with Bear. The moment Bear gave her the silent "I love you" and she said that she has a boyfriend and she's maturing, I was like, "You're sucking his dick in 2 minutes."
I almost kissed my TV when he did that. It was charming.
So Mikey P, so her boyfriend, was that a challenge guy? She was dating.
No, he's just like some DJ in like Vegas.
Oh, gee.
But like, I know that because she posted about him so much.
But they were on the tattoo show together. They got tattoos. The Snooki show. You see that?
Oh.
Yeah. How far is tattoo far? So, I mean, that's fucking big deals here.
That fucking voice saying how far is tattoo far?
That's big deal.
That just made the show coming back worth it.
Oh my god. That was when I knew Kayla is like what MTV thinks of her and her like promiscuity. I don't know how to even say it. Is that like they didn't even like save that as the big reveal for an episode? They just threw it in the preview. Like, yeah, she cheats on him probably like first minute of the next episode.
They threw it in twice.
I mean, you've seen the show before.
We know where this is going.
I mean, we're not coming to MTV for a moral compass.
Yeah.
No.
Oh, I love it. We need promiscuous Kayla out. That's what keeps the show on the tracks. It's great for the show.
Not just Kayla. We'll stick with a vet. Nanny, she's back, and Nani. It took her. What did I say? It was 27 minutes 7 minutes for her to point out who she was going to hook up with, Asaf, and then she hooked up with him at the 41-minute mark.
She's a predator, like Drake. Like how Drake is like bringing along 11 and like all these other underage girls we hear about. That's Nani. She's like, oh, you're the young one here? Let me give you some candy.
Or as Diaper Breath called her, the poisonous princess, which she says her kiss is poisonous. That's a great nickname.
Eddie, you ever run into her in Chicago?
No, I think she just moved. Actually, she's like, because like you said, I follow Kayla on social media, and they're like fucking tearing it up in Miami or something. So that's quite the crew down there.
I went to brunch in Chicago, and she was my waitress.
Was she?
Yeah.
Do you guys?
A lot of people see her.
Do you guys think Nani is practicing safe social distancing this entire time, or do you think?
No,
I don't think so.
Not at all.
Kyle, all right. This is one accent I did know. He must have been in a season. I fucking love this guy. I am physically in love with him. It's made me question a lot of things in my life. He's just adorable, and he seems like a pretty decent competitor now.
He's pretty good. This is where we need Paulie and Cara Maria though, because they hate each other. And that's where Kyle was really good.
Oh, and I'm sure that means everyone kind of likes him. Enemy of my enemy is my friend, and it seems like they were on the outs with a lot of fans from last season, no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I would say Kyle was a fan favorite from last. Do you guys disagree with that, Eddie, JJ?
No, I think what I said about Kyle, too, he's like one of the Brits that I feel like he's in now. Like, I'm cool with him, like being a regular, you know?
Yep.
It's funny.
He's like the only one I actually cheered for.
It's funny, too, because I feel like the Brits were accepted a lot quicker than, like, the Are You the One people who felt like they were just thrown into our lap, you know? So, right. Maddie Lynn.
Eddie, I'm sorry, real quick, Eddie, I just want to give a line from your blog here. I would like you to expound on it if you could. When talking about Kyle, you wrote, his kryptonite is his dick.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, he fucks everyone. Like, if he would have got voted out, it would have been like a shot. Like, he would have fucked someone still, even if he got voted out. Like, he would have slipped one in before he packed his bag. Like, that's how much this guy fucks. Like, he just, like, just wait for it. He'll be fucking soon. I can guarantee it.
I am very excited for Kyle now. The kryptonite is my dick. That is a line.
But he also has, it's come in over the seasons that he's been on. His hair plugs have filled in more and more, so it's been funny to see his evolution.
Maddie, we have Maddie here, who looks like she could be. I don't know if you guys.
She was on not Floribama Shore. She was on like the CMT version. She was supposed to be Party Down South. She is redneck JWoww.
Wow, that is a
description of her.
That is a great description of somebody. And is she the one from Louisiana where she said she's a pool shark and whatever? And she looks like she's in the dark arts. So I kind of understand. I see the New Orleans set. She looks like she could be related to Maleficent. I can't get that one out. So Maddie, people are afraid of Maddie because of her stature. That helps. So she kind of has a little bit of street cred, Eddie. Is that what you're telling me here?
Yeah, she's big, so you don't want to run into her in like a fucking hall brawl or like a physical elimination. She'll beat just about any. Well, not like the top couple girls like Tori and Jenny, but she'll make some noise in eliminations for sure.
She'll do good in the Oklahoma drill episode.
Melissa, don't know the first thing about her either. So you guys got to guide me on her. Riggs does not seem impressed. Not happy.
I love her.
Why? Why? What's about her?
So Melissa's been on 2 seasons. One, she was legitimately in a top 5 elimination ever. Like, not saying like girls, like new school, old school, like ever. It was that good against Sylvia. And the second season, she went home on like the second episode for fighting Kayla. She's a maniac. She just likes to fight, and she's a firecracker. She's good TV.
Did she beat Sylvia in that showdown?
She lost, but she was like, it was really good though.
I despise Sylvia, so that kind of would make me like her more if she sent Sylvia home. Damn it. All right, so we'll just finish up these vets because Nelson basically. So shout out to the person who pointed out how he didn't know the capital of Texas was Austin, despite living in Austin. I mean, for like his entire life and being a strip club manager in Austin, as we know.
And I think and Angela Babbitt have broken up, which is good for me because I just couldn't imagine him getting to have sex with all that plastic. The great looking plastic. Now that he's back on TV, like she just started putting out lingerie shots on Twitter, like during the episode.
Not only that, but shout out every single person on Twitter who said, we need the full video of Nelson playing chess because there's no way he knows how to play chess.
Yeah, how many illegal moves did he do? He's just playing checkers. Did he try to like eat one of the pieces? Again, we've said this a million times. Stoolies that are fans of the challenge, it's like it's not the biggest percentage, but that like little Venn diagram, it's the sweetest spot on the entire planet because they just get the challenge's humor and all that kind of stuff.
Is he the least liked member of like this era of the challenge? Like universally, I don't know one person that cheers for him.
Yeah, but I don't know anyone that cheers against them either. I just think
I can't stand him. I cheer against
him. All of us. We've all gone through it, said we hate him.
It's been so long I can't remember. Too many concussions.
Rogan. All right, so Rogan and Kyle have some shit going on apparently. That's what's This is like a lot. This is a long rivalry here, Ed.
I mean, Rogan's been on the first season he was on. He went home the very first episode, and then he won last season. So it's kind of hard.
I feel like they're making that up. They're pumping it up because there's no Paulie to go against Kyle, and Kyle needs to be in something.
Yeah, and I don't know. I just don't. Yeah, there wasn't. I don't remember there being that bad of blood, but I could be misremember. I don't know.
They'll bring up something that happened like off show. That's my guess with that rivalry. There was a tweet or an Instagram post that they didn't like, and that's where this rivalry started. Because, like you said, Kyle and Paulie, they were like the next great rivalry. Without Paulie, Kyle needs something besides having sex to entertain him. So they need to build up this rivalry. So that's my guess. Is it's going to be revealed that there's something off show that triggered this.
He's going to be fucking soon, Kyle.
Rogan with his terrible name and his look, he looks like he's about to be a villain on Fast and Furious 9, though. So
the name Bear, I heard the name Bear was in the show.
I don't like this guy.
I'll tell you.
He's an electric factory.
Yeah?
He's an electric factor. Yeah, he's going to start. The same way when it's like, oh, we need a third person in the triad or trilogy or whatever the hell it is. And he's like, I'll do it. He is that 100% of the time. He is similar to Tony. His idea is, oh, I kissed a girl. Oh, I kissed another girl. How can I solve this? I'll kiss one more girl. Like, that's it. His only way out is by kissing more girls in the pool. Like, there's no pool. There is. He does a lot of it in public. And it's just like, that's what happened. I kissed you last night. Now you're watching this.
He's just a wrecking ball, man. He's just a fucking wrecking ball. Like you said, he'll fuck a lot of girls, and then everyone will just hate him because you'll just be sitting there drinking, and he'll just like knock down all the cups. Like he'll just be like, yeah, why not? He loves the attention,
and he'll win an elimination too. He's not afraid to go in.
Did he cry? Did he cry last season or the season before?
I don't know. I can't remember.
I'm trying to remember. Like I remember there was one of the Brits or one of like the new guys crying because of. They said you're getting too out of control. I thought it was Bear.
It might be him, but he's not afraid to cry to manipulate everybody into getting further.
He's a wild card, this guy. I'm fascinated with Bear now.
Credit to Eddie. Now you have me intrigued. I'm rereading it. You're calling him a modern day Puck. Now
whoa. We're dropping the P word, Ed?
Watch. His video was probably the most important that I posted around the wall. Everybody was just upstairs. There's 10 people just playing poker. And he was downstairs. He was bored. He's like, I'm just going to go up there and body slam the table. So he just swan dived, took out the whole fucking table. The drinks went flying everywhere. And everyone natural reaction like, dude, what the fuck are you doing? He's like, what? What's the problem? You know, he's a maniac. He's a maniac.
If one day the house just burns down, it's going to be Bear who lit the fire is what you're telling me. That's kind of what I can expect here. All right, I'm down for it. Tori, obviously we're a pro Tori podcast. Happy to have her back. She's with Jordan, which kind of makes her a power player and all this, in addition to being a good competitor. Big T. Have no idea who the hell Big T is, but I kind of like the name Big T because you couldn't get two more opposite people than Big T, our Big T, and that Big T, and I kind of love it. What do you got for me on Big T?
Nothing. I don't remember anything about it.
I think she was just an in and out, quick elimination before.
Yep, the Grandpa Simpson gift. Wes coming with the beard, kind of like it, just because it's just something new. Because Wes's face is so hateable, he's hiding half of it under a ginger beard. So, I mean, I guess Wes is Wes. He doesn't. Is he on the juice? I can't really tell here. Looks like he's more on like apple juice, like sugar and shit. Like he's looking a little thick right now. He's old as shit too. He's like orange.
Yeah. He looks like he's just been holed up somewhere in a cabin in the woods. But what I did like about what Wes did this episode was, I don't know about you guys, but for me, there's nothing more infuriating than when you're very angry at someone and you're having an argument and they are just remaining very calm and just stone faced.
Yep.
So when he called Asaph, I guess it was, did he call him a pussy? Maybe. Yes. I don't know.
Yeah.
And then he just sat there and he just kind of let him go off, and it just probably infuriated Asaph more. But he's just, playing some games there, and I respect that.
He's playing possum.
Yep.
Yeah.
Someone that says they're playing possum while playing possum, that's the most infuriating thing in the world. But that's what Wes is good at. He's good at infuriating people.
I was going to say, that's 100% Wes. I swear, this is the third time he said his goal is just to play possum while, not playing possum.
Mm-hmm. We kind of touched on Asaph. Obviously, spoiler getting to the show, but this guy is an absolute electric factory. Going back to what JJ said earlier about who was it? Who was the other electric factory? This guy Asaph on Are You the One was just he was a laughing man. I was praying for him to be on the show 3 or 4, 5 seasons ago, and it just sucks we already have him gone. And he's apparently much more of an athlete than I ever would have guessed. He just falls in love. He's like a little puppy. You guys saw the way he was out there. I'd say he'd be part of Derek Zoolander's crew that blew themselves up shooting gasoline at each other. He would have been the fourth guy in that mix who lit the cigarette.
He was giving out a social security number 38 minutes into the show.
Oh, man.
Listen, Nani gets you, she gets you, right in the eyes, and you just lose control. Listen, Nani comes along and throws it your way. We're all doing the same thing. We're all 100% doing the same thing.
JJ, you said you had brunch. When she gave you the check and she looked at you, were you looking at your life I mean, your wife, you said, will kill you if you ever leave her, but I
It
mean,
was
not-
actually super uncomfortable because another waitress, it was summer, they were wearing shorts and her tampon string was hanging out, and my wife like grabbed Donnie and was like, "Hey, your coworker, like, you know, looking out like ladies as friends." Very uncomfortable.
That's correct.
Oh, wow.
Bailey, honestly, was she even in this episode? I couldn't even tell you.
No.
Yeah, she's terrifying.
Oh,
She's-
fuck her.
She looked in this screen. She broke the fourth wall.
Yeah.
She's a scary Jim from The Office.
You said Bailey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bailey.
I'm out on her. She was the one. She's like, wait, did you say, Jay, you're going to vote for Swaggy?
Yep.
Like, who the fuck
Oh.
are you? What are you going to do?
I
Yeah,
forgot
I'm-
about that. Yep.
I'm very out on her.
All I know is, like, I don't know if I like her, but I'm scared of her.
I need her and Cam against each other.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yes. Swaggy C. I mean, what kind of shit is this?
Come
How are
on.
you just gonna take
You
someone
cannot
else's
come in
nickname and just fucking alter it on the challenge as a fucking rookie?
While being defended by Bailey. Like, you can't be swaggy if a girl's out here, like, scaring people away from voting
Yeah.
him.
You have to,
Imagine having a daughter and she was like, "Yeah, this is my fiance, Swaggy."
And it's not Nick Young.
the only
Yeah,
way
it's
you
like-
can name yourself Swaggy something is if you were in Nick Young's balls at some point early in your life. You don't get to be Swaggy T, Swaggy C, Swaggy B, Swaggy Z. Fucking Nick Young has earned that nickname over years and years. This fucking guy, Fessy, this guy's talking about he's going to the NFL. So I wrote that. So this guy said he's going to the NFL. I think they went to Tennessee Chattanooga, which is Terrell Owens' old college. I was like, fuck, maybe this guy, like, maybe Mel Kiper had his eye on him. Career stats: 125 receptions, 1,200 yards, 18 touchdowns. Guy has a nose for the end zone, but unless he's a hell of a blocker, unless he's playing in the XFL, he's not playing on Sunday. Am I right about that?
Yeah, it's the worst. You always get these guys that come in here. They went to fucking the Jags mini camp for 1 year, and they're like, "Yeah, I almost made it." It's like, no, come on. Like, credit to you. You had a nice career, but you don't act like that.
Yeah, I mean, like
That was Zach's thing for a
That's,
while.
yep.
Yeah, I
He
will
went
say
to, like,
this though.
D3 Michigan school.
Well, you know, being an All-American at a 1AA school is nothing to shake a stick at. Far be it for me to judge that. But that's not like an automatic entrance into the NFL. So, you know, pump the brakes on. I was supposed to be playing on Sundays. Maybe you would have gotten a shot if your knee stayed healthy, but that wasn't just an automatic. You were signing first round with the Bears.
Yeah, and like, listen, maybe you're right. Maybe he was a little closer than we thought, because shit like that could happen now. But we're also jaded by fucking Theo, who went to Eastern. I don't know if you remember that guy, the guy who went to Eastern.
Yes.
And then, yeah, it was he was not even close. And then there was Bananas, his cousin, who played at Youngstown State. It's like, dude,
Yep.
come on. You were fourth string, you know? So
Vince? Was it Vince?
Yeah,
Vince.
Vince.
Oh, the worst. He was the absolute worst. The pig, Vinny Pig or something like that?
Yeah.
He was, and I mean, anyone who follows Mike Francesa knows if he didn't get that knee injury, he would have been playing first base for the Yankees at some point. Mike will bring up that knee injury every single fucking time. So shout out to Fessy for doing the same. The knee, like, I'm like that's like, you almost are happy when you hurt your knee. You're like, now I could tell people I would have made it into like whatever sport I was playing in. Jay, couldn't hate this guy more blindly. Don't know anything
So
about
out
him.
on him.
Just
But
he's
Nana's
out
is
on him.
dating his ex-girlfriend, and it has not come up on the show.
ooh. I
that's
kind
a
of like
twist.
this.
That's
Bananas
juicy.
like lives with her. I think they live together. Yeah, like Jay's ex-girlfriend, because
Well-
Jay was on Survivor, but then he was on X on the Beach, and he went there as an ex, and then that girl ended up on the challenge, met Bananas, and now he's doing
Who's his ex?
Morgan, I think her name is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that sounds correct.
Yeah,
Our boy John, which I mean, the only psycho who actually calls him John is Connor. Who was the girl he was dating? The snowboarder, and then it all fell apart. I thought that
Oh
was
my
Johnny's
gosh.
meal ticket to like never having to work again. And,
Yeah.
remember we had that sex tape?
Oh my
There's
god,
a
I
lot-
forgot about that.
He had a sex tape while we've been out too.
Yeah, but it's been a while, boys. It feels good to
Yeah.
get back behind the microphone here. Can we ask him about that, or is that a federal crime if we ask him about his
No,
sex
I think
tape?
that's something we have to ask. It's our journalistic duty to ask him.
He wouldn't respect us if we did it.
Yeah,
Federal
it's true.
crime.
Jennifer Lee, model in
Is-
an amazing smoke show.
So hot.
So
So hot. Found her on Twitter. Just go to her Twitter and just go to media, and it's just like, here I am being a rocket, or it's just like, here's me and like 7 of my friends' asses were walking on the beach. 2 of them are wearing thongs, and you can see where the color changes around their asshole. Like, We are having a good time in Hawaii at all times.
All right, I think we're a pro Jennifer podcast. We're gonna put that one out there now. And then last but not least is Casey, Big Brother winner, which I feel like that means you have to have a nose for the political game, right? Mm-hmm. I've never watched Big Brother before, but I feel like it's kind of like the real world and like with just a challenge kind of game inside of it, right?
Yeah, she'll be good from the mental aspect. We'll see about the physical aspect, but yeah, you don't win Big Brother without knowing how to play some mental warfare a little bit.
Yeah.
And also, I mean, not to judge a book by its cover, but double arm sleeves, that's telling you something. I don't know what, but it's telling you something.
Connor, do you have a tattoo?
No.
No tattoos. Good Catholic Irish boy. No ink on there. Then you have Chapsy. You couldn't have two fucking different people. Like guy has Ronald McDonald tattooed on his belly. What a fucking combo that is. So, bless you, whoever that was. I'm surprised no one else said God bless you. What kind of a podcast are we operating with here? No one else is saying anything. God bless you. All right, so we have, obviously, we'll go to the show now, the episode. Going on a helicopter. TJ's just sitting there. TJ's fucking looking strong. I mean, I'm not saying he's getting any younger, but he's just looking like strong. Like he's commanded the show. I haven't seen him in a couple of years, and I feel like he's really just molded himself into this show.
We need, for like the credits, TJ needs to be listed as the commissioner. Like I'm starting that. It can't be TJ Lavin, the host, or starring TJ Lavin. It's TJ Lavin, commissioner of the challenge.
He's taking ownership by to run my final.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. He's the commissioner. Like he needs to be the commissioner.
He's earned.
Man. So so then it's like, I'm like, all right, well, this is a lot. Like they're flying these idiots in a fucking helicopter, but then we just go right into a challenge. They're doing barrels, and he's just running over stuff with a tank. And you know what? Like, I'm all in for that. Like, instead of just having it's the same stupid challenge they've had every other year, but with TJ riding a tank crushing shit, this is all they had to do. Like, remember JJ, we used to always, me, you, and Connor, we'd always try to figure out how they could do the challenges better. Just have TJ do cool shit as they do the same stupid games. I think they found their fucking, like, happy point right here, no?
I love, it's a great way to eliminate people and, save time, because it's just listen, only one person's going to win this. We don't need to know who's in 7th place.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just rent a couple tanks.
I thought there was going to be one time where the tanks hit each other, too, so I'm, kind of watching that in the background, and I don't really know what's going on. All right, so
how easy is it to just get tanks in Prague? So that's just an easy thing to get.
So here's what I was thinking. So Prague is the capital of Czech Republic. The border on the north and west is Germany, and the Americans, we have a bunch of bases over there, a bunch of military bases. Those look to me, I'm not a tank expert, but those look to me like Hellcat tanks. So there's possibly some World War II museum that they're just like, hey, do you mind if we borrow these for a little bit? And they were working tanks that they probably use in D-Day remembrance or some sort of parades here and there. And then they just MTV co-opted them for the episode.
Well, there you go. We've got our Hardo moment of the episode.
I felt like I'm on fucking Pawn Stars right now. You're the expert.
Well, that was going to bother me. I was like, what kind of tank is that? Not that I'm a World War II tank expert, but I narrowed it down to that's how they got the
number
tanks.
one World War II expert has to be my friend and in town in Vegas. We'll see if we could make a deal. I'll have Chumley call him up.
The best part about the tanks was TJ Lavin still having the air horn in there, as if there wasn't enough noise. He's like, gotta get my air horn going still.
So they're doing, honestly, with these challenges, I never quite know what the fuck's going on. I'm tweeting, I'm talking, I'm doing all this shit. Connor, could you have done this? Captain Hardo, would you have won this challenge against these? Exactly.
Come on.
I'm happy you said yes.
Push it back. Come on.
Would you have been, how long would it have taken to get it? Could you have gone in that tank and gotten things to get moving within 15 minutes?
Yeah. No, I'm sure I could have been able to get in there because in terms of driving a tank, the mechanics of it haven't really changed over the course of 60, 70, 80 years. It's all pretty similar in terms of how you would actually.
Have you driven a tank?
Yeah.
Because you're just trying it hasn't changed in 70 years like you were driving a tank 70 years ago.
I'm speculating about tanks from World War II. I don't think the mechanics of it is just like a T-bar and you just drive it. I don't know. It's pretty simple.
Have you ever fired shit out of a tank? Like a fucking...
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that...
I'll tell you. That shit is fun. And I mean, my whole career as an artillery guy, I was in charge of paladins, and that's just basically a tank with a cannon attached to it. In so many, in the simplest terms.
God, that's gonna be so fun to shoot.
Well, it's awesome. It's awesome. If you're listening to this right now, just pause YouTube, Mike 109 Alpha 6 Paladin, and just watch that bad boy operate.
What kind of hoops does a civilian have to jump through other than, getting on the challenge or something to fire a fucking paladin out of a tank or something like that? Like, can you get me into West Point and let me fucking drive some tanks around? That's
Seriously.
kind of what I'm asking here, Con.
So up at West Point, we definitely only got smaller artillery. There's no paladins around West Point, but I would say, Clem, there's an outside chance we could talk to an Army PAO, public affairs officer, and maybe arrange something. Okay. I don't know. I'll say there's a 13% chance we could do that.
All right.
Like awesome. A Make-A-Wish situation?
Yes, exactly. I mean,
if
you look at me right now, I definitely look very sickly, so I think I can maybe sneak in there. This was the other thing. So the X factor in all this was the math, which I took a look at one of those equations and my fucking brain almost leaked out of my ears.
Oh, come on.
Yeah, those were very simple.
Yeah, it was like basic. It wasn't even algebra. It was like basic math.
All right, but this is my question. Did you guys do PEMDAS?
I don't know what the hell that is.
Well, there were parentheses.
It's the order.
But that's the order it goes in, though. So you would divide before you did all the math, the addition and subtraction. So that's what I'm saying. You guys might have had the wrong answer. That's why I had to kind of take a step back here and was like, I wonder if these is that the order of operations? Same thing?
Order of operations.
Yes. So I was wondering if these gentlemen on the podcast would have thought that. And apparently JJ would just have the wrong answer because he just would have went head first.
Because that only works when it's like a compound equation. These were separate equations.
Was it a separate equation?
Yeah.
Like you go in order.
Just did it in order, exactly.
When there's parentheses and exponents, you go to PEMDAS. Besides that, you add, then you subtract, then you divide whatever the order was. Or if you're not a moron, when you see it's 67 plus 57 minus 56, you just go, oh, well, that's 1, so that's just plus 1. And then you divide that by 2, and then you move on with your life. But instead, they stand there and just stare at each other. It was like, I don't know how I was going to do that. Let me give myself blinders. Turned my hands. That didn't work. What are the odds?
How about Bear dropping the line that he's the best at math and was like counting with his fingers on how to get to 10?
Well, see, this is the problem. This is the problem when you grow up and you just always have a phone, a calculator in your hand. You can't just do basic math anymore. I thought it was hysterical when I think it was Jenny who said, yeah, I'll just be sitting there at night and I'll be doing my equations. Who the hell sits in the couch at night and does random ass equations? What are you talking about, Jenny?
That's because the internet in Europe isn't good, so they don't have like much else to do. They just do like my best friend lives in London, and his wife's French, and she works from home, and she's like, I build into my schedule, some calligraphy to take my mind off things. Like, that's what they do over there.
But, credit to the producers, because those guys doing math looked like one of your children trying to do brain surgery.
Tori was pretty good at it, where she had the blinders on and just couldn't figure out anything. She just gave up. She's like, I'm out.
Yeah. It's tough when the good guys have like issues on like a basic equation or like a simple puzzle. So Rogan wins. So Rogan has brains. Is that fair to say?
No, it's not at all. I would say.
Okay, very much not the case.
Just hammers home our point that math was not hard.
yeah, I guess so. And then Jenny, who when my wife says, "Wait till you see her in a pair of shorts and a t-shirt," I was like, "What does this mean?" She's like, "Oh no, she's ripped out of her mind," which you guys kind of hammered home as well. We go to the house. I didn't know. I thought we were like, I'm dreaming of the year where they just live in squalor and shitty conditions 24/7. But you can't really do that because you need to have them get loose, have fun. And you can't be doing that on shitty bunk beds, looking like it's fucking what's it, drill? What is that, Connor? The basic training kind of shit, where you're just kind of just in like a regular bunk room or whatever.
Oh, like barracks.
Yes, exactly. It's in Prague, which I didn't know for about the first half. We had to ask JJ, and he's the one who kind of pointed it out to us. Ashley's whoring it out. We had Nani first to. What was Nani's odds of being the first to hook up? It wasn't even on the board, right? You can't put that.
It was minus 700.
Stop. And back to the house. Actually, that's still it's still kind of one of the coolest things of the show is CT's done like a fucking million of these, and they're still so fucking fired up to see what what I mean. Run through it. It's like the one thing that just never gets old.
It's Christmas morning.
Yes, exactly.
But it ends up being the same thing every time. They run through as if, like, I got to get the best bed because one bed's different than the other ones. Like, it's always the same shitty bunks. You're going to end up in a room with people you hate, and then eventually you guys will shift around. But, yeah, when CT saw, like, the gym area, well, it wasn't the gym part he was excited about, but in general, he looked like the kid who – like the Xbox or N64 on Christmas and just start ripping it open.
Yeah, it made me smile.
Then they had DMX playing in the background as that was going on. Like, that was just A+.
That was meta for us, but I think it's interesting to see the evolution of the challenge. It used to be back in the days of Kenny and Evan. Shout to friends of the program, Kenny and Evan. They have like one treadmill and they'd be doing like a prison workout of like push-ups and sit-ups. Now they got a 40-yard turf track, all the CrossFit equipment, all the the barbells, everything you could possibly need for a quality workout. Yeah. It's like you could really actually train and be ready for these challenges. It was very interesting to see how advanced they are now.
And kind of what they do in this year. So this, I guess the way the challenge is going to work is you have the one person who gets voted in, and then you have, what's the name of like the trio, the deliberation room? Tribunal. Is that what they're calling it? Okay, the tribunal's there. And what's the name of do they have like the elimination? The one that's Purgatory. Okay, I dig that. I keep thinking Gulag. That's an old one, and that's a Call of Duty thing now.
Back,
yeah. So the Purgatory, I kind of like that. And obviously we have Asaph goes in. He calls out Wes, which, I mean, Asaph is, we're all Asaph guys now, right? For even the people that didn't know him before this episode, I love anyone that gets in Wes's face. And Wes got really upset real quick about that. You think you just brush off the guy, the fucking little fairy with the long hair there, but he got really upset about it.
Well, I think the reason he got but I think he got upset because you think at this point, Wes has been around for 26 years. You think, all right, somebody's going to come in. They're going to show me a little respect, not necessarily kiss the ring, but I've been around the block a time or two. So maybe you don't have to get in my face right away.
Mm-hmm. Okay. I can feel that. Plus he's playing possum. As we all know, he's playing Wes's companies right now. The last month, what has happened to those, like, I imagine like if you like hunker down into one company and you have, little things in case everything goes wrong. You have 50 companies, you have no company. It's like having two quarterbacks in the NFL. And he's fucked right now. Our boy Wes better win this one because I don't know. He might already be off of this earth right now. I'm worried about him right now.
Wes is trying to be Ric Flair right now. Like, he's trying to do the, like, no, and then, like, I'll stab you in the back. That's all of it. Like, Bananas is about to get hit in the back with a chair.
Yes. So Wes and Bananas, they, once Wes, it looks like Wes might go in. They kind of, again, shout out to the producers. They drum up this shit. Even the way the voting went down in the house, I was like, there's no way this is the order it went in. They just tried to make it look like it was close. Asaph was probably like 11-0 at one point, and they just kind of, I feel like, edited it up to make it look a little more closer than that.
You know what though, JJ? I don't know, man. You've been watching, so. Like, Wes and Johnny, they've been getting bounced way too early. Like, I think they actually are going to come together. Like, at one point later on, I think it could happen. But I really do actually think they're working together because they don't have the numbers anymore.
I think Bananas wants to. I think Wes thinks he can skew young. Wes always thinks he can skew young and, like, slide in, like, hello, fellow kids. Let's,
I think it's going to be eliminate. I think it's them to try to take out Jordan. It's a friend of my, like, the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Like, that's what's going on there.
Could be.
So I wrote these down because when it looked like Wes and Bananas were going to team up, which again could be heavy editing, like they kind of like foreshadowed it in the first thing and talking about how much they dislike each other when they're on the same challenge, blah, blah, blah. But we had the Mega Powers, we had the Rockers, we had Stone Cold and Vince McMahon. Those are the three comparisons we got, which shows kind of the podcast we are. I'm very proud we had all those wrestling references. All three of those alliances, or whatever you want to call them, rivalries, like ended in horrible fashion, which is what we're all hoping for happens here. I want this to be an all-time moment. When Riggs does his next top 15 moments, I want the Wes, Bananas, Mega Powers, Super Alliance to explode spectacularly. It gives you something to kind of look forward to. I do think I'm not expecting it to really be a thing though. Or you guys think it's actually gonna come to fruition here for like I'm talking episodes at a time? Like that'll be one of the themes of the season.
Yes, I think for at least a quarter plus of the season
until they're safe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, a quarter is what, 4 episodes? Like, I think they're gonna. I don't think they make it till the end without. There's got to be backstabbing. Like that's who they are. They don't like each other, or I think Wes is going to be the one that does it.
It's going to lead to that, but I'm saying that like the storyline of them being on the same team is going to be at least a quarter of the season.
Yeah,
I'll say this as well is I don't think you fully know because I think the way the show is, the theme with how you got to go in, you can't really plan for that. Like it's impossible. It's kind of like The Island. I don't know if you guys remember that one where you had to go in to get a key to and then remember it was like you sit down there and you could give your key away, need your key to get on the boat. It's kind of like that. So you can only plan so much, and then like who knows?
And then once you win. You're not exempt though. You can go back in. You can keep getting your ass shipped in, right?
Yeah.
So that makes it very interesting.
So
but
do you think there would be any kind of possible freeze out, like an Isaiah Thomas, like All-Star game freeze out, like, yo, we just never put Jordan in. He can't go to a final.
Ooh, that's a good
There could
strategy.
be.
That's a good strategy.
And put it this way too. If all right, so say Wes has a skull. That's what it is, right on their helmet.
The red skull.
And this guy Jay has a skull, and Bananas needs a skull. I mean, Jay looked pretty fucking good. Wes hasn't looked that good in years, so he's gonna fucking take Wes. So I mean, I don't know. There's ways.
I think it's important to note that although Wes and Bananas hate each other, they love money more than they hate each other. Mm-hmm. So when it comes down to it, I think they will be willing to do everything that they have to a point, and then they will go their separate ways and stab each other in the back, just like we've seen them do in previous seasons. And just real quick, I want to just go back for a second talking about the house, because I think this will come into the game in terms of messing with people's minds. And I just got some confirmation. It looked like there were no windows in the house. So there's no windows, right? So there's no natural light. They had an outdoor space, but it was covered in ice, so they couldn't go outside. All the toilets, they clogged week 1, so they had to use frozen porta potties, and they all just started peeing in the sinks. So I say all that because no natural sunlight and that red light that kind of is in the hallways and stuff, I promise you go a few days, few weeks with that, it starts messing with your mind. Watch this house becomes a factor in how this game is played because people are going to start going nuts.
Who do you think?
Wait until we find out this is just leading up to be that last scene of Contagion, and this is where Corona started.
Who does that favor? I mean, you would think it could be Bananas because I mean, the guy who like had his sister handwrite notes, like he probably has this kind of like step ahead. Shout out to the producer for again, like that's not a mistake, right? Like they're trying to figure out how to get these people to be as crazy and like deranged as fuck.
Exactly. Clem, I think who it favors is anybody who's older than, I don't know, 30, 32. Mm-hmm. Anyone who's grown up where they've had nonstop entertainment in the palm of their hand and zero attention span that need to be stimulated over and over for a constant amount of time and have no way of taking their brain off of things. I think this affects those younger kids more than CT, West, Johnny, Anissa, who grew up before all of that.
You know who this benefits the most? Who's going to be the most beneficial? Any parent that's on.
Yes.
Yeah. It's like that's dead serious. We're three of us are parents.
Who's a parent besides CT?
Corey, CT.
Yeah, but Corey's fucking still hitting the streets. Look at that.
The fuck
I'm trying to think. I don't know. I'm trying to think who. I don't know if there are any other.
No, I'm with you though. Like CT, this is light work. He's like, I do not want to leave this house because once I do, I'm back in the Thunderdome at home where I'm not fucking Chris. I'm not CT. I'm fucking Daddy. And that kid, that half CT, half Cuban kid is fired up probably every goddamn day.
Were we still doing the show when they had that special of like his wedding? I don't think so. Like CT's gotten married since we took a break.
Yes.
And he's got a spicy Latina wife who just fucking yells at him all the time. She's like a chihuahua, just fucking trying to fight his sister and just yelling at him all the time. It's like once you have friends who start having kids, when you have like a bachelor party, there's always one guy who's just there to sleep. That's CT.
Yes.
Well, I'll tell you what, too. We're speaking of who it favors. I mean, I think the odds on Jay skyrocketed. I mean, he was on Survivor.
That's big.
used to a very shitty environment, and he was just smart the way he went in there. And I think like when you're able to climb and do that kind of shit as well as endurance, that's like the best attribute you could have in this shit.
And same with who is the girl that was on Amazing Race? Was that?
That's Jen, the hot Asian.
Yes. I think that helps too. Like those shows, Survivor, Amazing Race, that helps in this sort of thing.
You know what doesn't help? I don't think Anise is getting helped by anything basically going on here. I think we can all agree on that.
She got a paycheck, man.
Yeah, I mean,
she got that $4,600 as a 1099 freelance employee to qualify to get $600 more a week from the government right now. She has covered all her bases.
And she's used to pissing in sinks, so that's a benefit for her.
I'm sure there's not that many differences between like Soviet era Prague and basically North Philly, right? JJ, you know more than I would. I feel like there's plenty of places where Anissa might have been that doesn't have a lot of natural sunlight at any given moment. So.
Oh yeah, like I mean, it's probably like 8 blocks from where I live, maybe 10 blocks. It's like a place where she used to strip, and like it is seedy looking. I've never been inside.
Hey, you know what though? Anissa did pretty good in that challenge. I think I'm going to be the Anissa fucking defender on this show here.
Okay, I like that. I think the thing about Anissa is we always respect the grind, but like my buddy has a survivor pool with her, and I took her, and I'm like, I'm gonna lose on Anissa. It's like picking the Dolphins week 1 just to get them out of the system, but it was just a reckless pick. But you know, to her credit, like you said, she showed herself. So Eddie is team Anissa. So anyone listen, for all the listeners out there, everyone on Twitter, if you guys have been like in the shadows in the closet, didn't want to like let your Anissa flag fly. I mean, JJ slid in his fucking DMs.
Dude, I love Anissa.
Yeah,
I'm
exactly.
trying to smash. I'm trying to Kyle her.
She is you know what? I would like to go on record. Anissa is a very nice lady. She's matured into a very nice lady.
Yes. God damn it. Are we becoming an Anissa podcast now?
No, because in a week she's going to be like, yeah, Corey was trying to suck my asshole. Or like.
So we get to the what was it? The Purgatory. And Asaph versus Jay, which again, Survivor skills, knowing the shows they were on is going to make a difference. Fighting on like a glass pane, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. It's just like wiggle the person off. Was that like the whole point of it?
Yeah, you just had to make them let go of that bar. I didn't understand it till they started doing it. As the way TJ explained it, I was like, I'm not really paying attention. Then I'll just wait and see what happened. I don't know if there was any real strategy other than just having more endurance and being able to hold on longer.
Honestly, when they first went up there because of the plexiglass, because of Corona, I was just like, oh, yeah, like at the supermarket. Like how they put it up. I forgot that this was months ago. So when they started kicking it, I was like, oh, wow.
It was a weird elimination because I don't know what the skill was. It wasn't a mental thing.
It was grip strength.
Yeah, which is just a weird elimination.
From a viewing perspective, it was kind of hard to follow. It wasn't really a good watch.
No.
Can we all agree that if they had TJ riding around in a tank, it would have been a much better watch? And like they could have done the exact same thing up top and we'd be like, fuck yeah, that's awesome.
What they should have done was had TJ with his air horn in the tank trying to scare him off.
Oh, yes.
Or shooting like airsoft pellets at them.
TJ, when he can like torture them and he has that like sick twisted grin on his face, he's like the nicest guy in the world, but he likes fucking with people. So when Jay said his mom who had like 13 brain aneurysms, I felt like I didn't need that. That made me feel kind of shitty. And then, but when he had the 2 opposite hands, he had one going one way. I was like, oh, he has it figured out. Which that could have been like the dumbest strategy in the world. But just making it look like you know what you're doing is like half the battle. And ASAP was probably like, shit, I'm cooked.
We need to talk to the producers. No more family stories. I'm out on hearing family stories.
Well, it's these people from other shows that think you need that. You don't need that here. No. You could buy tits. Like that's a comeback story of forever for a challenge prize. Like, don't worry about the family. It's okay. Spend it how you want.
Did Ashley like say that during her season? Like, I'm buying a new pair of tits when I win this, or was it afterwards? I remember
she came back and was just like, "Yep, I spent my money."
And it's like, great.
Oh, she's the best. She's the worst, but she's the best.
It's so funny because when it was like you win $15,000, we were like, I'm going to open a catering hall and generational wealth. And then when she wins $1 million, she's like, I bought $3,000 tits. Normally they're $6,000. I bought the $3,000 version. I got the ones from the 80s.
Oh, God. So then Jay, our boy Asaph goes home. He gets 90's number out of it, which I'm sure she probably, I'm like,
yeah, I mean, I went to the bathroom when I was at brunch, too. So in the stall, I got it.
Yeah, I survived. I'm a human being with a penis, so everybody's getting that number.
Like I said, he got his feet wet, he got his dick wet. I mean, I think we all want to see Asaph back, right? I'm telling you, the guy was absolutely incredible on Are You the One? Which, by the way, not enough people know this. Julia Rose, that's where she started, was Are You the One? The season I watched, she was the Helen of Troy. Men were ready to cut each other's throats to try to be the one who matched up with her. So, and I mean, look what she's become, like the biggest Instagram model in the world. So, we got our super
shout out Asaph, who says he's putting on for Israel.
Yeah,
he's carrying all of Israel on his back.
You can make a case he's like a top 10 Jewish athlete right now, right? Like the lists are never all that long for the most part. Like Jerry Jeudy is basically on the list because he is the Star of David chain, and the guy has not a Jewish ounce of blood in him, from what I can tell. So, we got our super twist from TJ, which I love that they just brought that up. Fucking episode 1, which again we've talked about, where you have to have the skull. You get a skull, you got to go into the finals. I kind of love the freeze out idea. The way, that's the most interesting thing about the way this game works. These people are some of the dumbest, most moronic, just idiotic motherfuckers in the world, but they always find a way to like outsmart the game. Which I mean, like at MTV, I feel like tries to like make it like idiot proof in a different way, and they always figure out a way. It's like rats can always find their way out of
I was
the house.
just thinking, if you put rats in a maze, they're going to figure it out eventually, no matter the size of their brain. And it's just the same thing going on here. And I actually, maybe I'm too smart because I didn't even think of that. So you have to be like dumb to come up with, the freeze out. And that's not actually true. I am pretty, I'm pretty stupid myself, but you get what I'm saying.
If he doesn't have a skull, he can't go to the final. And that's just like going to be their strategy the entire time. So it's going to be fascinating. We get our this season on, which I mean is always, it's just like the trailer. It always gets you so excited. It usually is spread out through that's the thing. When we took our hiatus, it was like 6-month seasons of epics, and they would run out of material about like episode 5. I feel like we probably don't have that much time. Was there any part of this season on that stuck out to you other than Kayla clearly cheating on her boyfriend multiple times?
I was so distraught. It just totally threw me off. I lost faith in love.
The body bag. I'm curious by the gold body bag.
Body bag? I didn't see that.
I didn't see that either.
First thing on this season on there's a gold body bag that's getting into an ambulance.
The person. No, I don't think it was a body bag. I think it was like the equivalent of what they give you when you run the marathon. It was like foil.
Oh, the blanket?
But it was like zipped up it looked like a body bag the way it was zipped up.
Well, it's in Prague. They got weird stuff over there. The Germans, they make good stuff. Get a ShamWow.
Well, were you guys, the last season you guys watched, was it still they were trying to fuck around and not do challenge, elimination, and there was like a bunch of drama and like sometimes nothing happened?
Yeah. We would go through entire episodes where there, like every challenge episode, you need to have like the challenge to start it. You need to have the drama and the hooking up in the house, and then you have the elimination. And we would get sometimes like 1 out of 3 in an episode, and we're like, what the fuck's going on? I mean, people are like, we're upset we like took a break. But people are also upset because we were complaining because we hated the fucking show. So I think the way we're set up right now, I think we're all pretty happy, right?
They went back last season, so they're back to the old way. And it looks like they're going to keep doing it, so that's good.
Beautiful. They figured it out. The commercials, it's still like fucks my brain up going back to MTV commercials. I'm like, my brain's like, dude, we like graduated from this like 15 years ago.
Do you think Karen Gravano has a show coming out with Sammy the Bull? I have no idea.
Two
it
things.
Used to be at least Acme commercials. Now it's just fucking Karen Gravano.
Tell me that
my dad's Sammy the Bull, and he's got a lot of tattoos.
If we start getting like mafia people on the challenge, and they're like, "Well, I want to throw them in, but I might get whacked when this is over with," I think that kind of brings it up to another level.
Season 36, they bring the kids from Growing Up Gotti back.
So
Team MOG will be in there.
I mean, growing up in the Northeast, like how serious could these people really be affiliated with the mafia if they're willing to go on an MTV show and talk about being in the mafia?
Well, that's Sammy the Bull Gravano. So like he was real, but that was
Yeah,
forever.
no, I know that. Yeah, exactly. That's all right. That's a good point. And then I just thought it was ironic that the last time we were doing this podcast, there was all the anti-smoking, super gross, ridiculous commercials, and now it's an anti-vaping commercial.
And fucking coronavirus commercials, which I'm telling you, that just, I feel like I'm in a movie when I see those. I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Why is this coronavirus commercial on my screen? But
Yeah, fucking Burger King can go suck my dick. I'm so tired of that shit, that fucking commercial. It's the same, we're thinking about you. I'm not the, fuck you.
I mean, on that note, I don't think we're going to be able to top that, but the Burger King can suck Eddie's dick. Eddie coming in hot in his first episode.
Eddie, can you tell us the name of Snooki's show one more time?
How far is Tattoo Far? Was that what it was called? I don't get what's so funny.
It's your accent.
Anything else you guys wanted to hit on from the episode? Anything? I mean, again, I think we have something pretty good lined up here. We'll see what happens in the coming weeks, but based on just the next on and the cast here, is there anything else you guys, anything to add?
Yeah, it was great to see TJ smiling, and he was just pegging shit in that tank, and it was great. It was great to see TJ smiling.
I'm glad this is back, and I'm really watching it, taking notes and everything, because it reminded me just how dumb some of these people are. In the tribunal, when they brought in Kyle, and Rogan was just like, "Do you promise you'll never backstab me this year?" And he's just like, "I promise." And he's like, "Okay, that's good enough for me."
Yeah.
Like, what world does that work out in?
I forgot about that. I was like, oh, he's definitely going in. Nope, that's good for me. I want to keep one of my rivals around and just have this guy as a thorn in my side. Oh, they're the best. They're the best. Eddie, any last thoughts?
Yeah, you touched on it at the beginning of the show, but real quick, you said Total Madness. The names have sucked for a while. The Final Reckoning, Triple X, then World War III, whatever. So
it's like when WWF was doing the In Your Houses, and they would just add something to it.
Yeah, like exactly. It was like Inferno, Gauntlet, right? That shit was good. Like so. I mean, we need to get back to better names. But other than that, solid premiere.
Yep. Okay, JJ.
Yeah, dude, I'm just excited we have something to watch. Nothing on. Just anything to look forward to. Because we're all living what they're in.
Yes, we're all in bunkers right now. This is the longest.
Except for Connor, who's doing 20-mile walks.
Yeah, that was something to do one Sunday. I just decided.
If I walked to the George Washington Bridge, I'd be jumping off.
This is, I think, the longest I've talked to like a group of people that isn't my immediate family in a long time. So I'm happy to have this back. We have something to watch. We have something to root for. We have like people to hate and love. It's the closest thing we have to sports. The fifth major sport is carrying the other four, putting the team on its back like Greg Jennings. And we're here. We're back. So don't quit on us. We won't quit on you.